record. All right, Ghazi, you have the mic. After that, yes.
Yes, Mister. Before we start, Mister, yesterday you were talking about water vapor and that thing. Mister, yesterday I was in the marina. The marina was so hot. About in the Mister about 3 p.m. 2 p.m. Mister. I put one dot of water in my hand. Mister, it take about 5 6 minutes to evaporate. It was not fast to evaporate.
I'm sorry, I didn't get your point. What are you discussing about?
Mister, evaporation, Mister.
You evaporated what?
Mister, yesterday I was in the marina, okay?
In the marine?
Yes, Mister.
What's a marine?
Mister, what about Mister? The boat parking lot.
I'm sorry, I don't know about this. Okay.
Okay, Mister, it was so hot, Mister. And after that, I put water in my body, Mister. Take about like 5 minutes to evaporate. Was not fast.
Well, how much more time were you expecting to evaporate the water from your body?
1 minute, 2 minutes, Mister.
You're not a boiling teapot, are you? It
No,
takes.
Mister, but it was so hot.
Yes, it was hot, but depends on how much humidity is in the air. If the air has water vapors, the humidity, then it would be difficult to evaporate. Plus, it usually takes about 5 to 10 minutes to evaporate from a human body's clothes in a very hot and dry temperature.
Mister, like I was so close to from the Mister from the sea.
You were so close to what?
To the sea.
The sea is humid. That area is humid. It has a lot of water vapors, and it is very difficult to evaporate anything over there. Especially clothes will get dry at a very, at more time. They would require more time to evaporate.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Okay, let's go. Let's read out the learning objectives. Yes, Abdullah, if you want to. And it would be better, boys, that you can open up the camera. Today the internet is stable. If it gets unstable, I'll ask you guys to keep your webcams off. So turn the webcams on. All right. Okay, let's give the mic to Oais. Yes, Oais, would you like to read the learning objectives?
Yes, learning objectives to identify chloroplast, cuticle, guard cells, and stomata, upper and lower epidermis, palisade mesophyll, spongy mesophyll, vascular bundles, xylem and phloem in leaves of dicotyledonous plant.
All right, let's check these terms again. We are going to learn about what is a chloroplast. Second thing, what is cuticle? Number 3 is about the guard cells. 4, about the stomata. Then number 5, upper and lower epidermis. 5 is Palisade Mesophyll. Number 6, spongy Mesophyll. 7, muscular bundles. 8 is going to be xylem and phloem. So 9 and 10 would be dicotyledonous plant. So
what does this mean?
Yes, these are all the terms that we will learn once we see the pictures, because you need to see the diagrams, the videos, so they can understand where are these things available. All right?
Okay.
So good job. We are going to be going through some videos. So let's check the number 1 video. I hope my sound is on with the computer. If you can't hear, please raise your hand or leave a text message.
Just like in animals, plants have different levels of organization, with lots of similar cells combining to form tissues, different types of tissues combining to form organs, and then multiple organs combining to form organ systems. To see how these fit together, we're going to take a look at the structure of a leaf, which itself is an organ. And along with the stem and roots, it forms an organ system that's function is to transport substances around the plant. This image here is a cross-section of a leaf, as though you sliced it from top to bottom and are looking inside. Before we explore these structures though, it's worth considering its function. Leaves are the site of photosynthesis, which we'll cover in another video, but basically it requires lots of carbon dioxide and water in order to make sugars. The water comes from the soil and is transported to the leaves via the roots and xylem, as we'll see in the next video. But the carbon dioxide diffuses directly into the leaf from the outside air, through lots of little holes called stomata. In fact, each of the leaves will have thousands of these stomata, and they're scattered through the lower epidermis, which is a layer of epidermal tissue. Once the carbon dioxide has diffused through these little holes, it moves up the leaf and enters the spongy mesophyll tissue, which has lots of air gaps between the cells, so that the gas can easily diffuse through to the next layer, which we call the Palisade Mesophyll layer. This is where most of the photosynthesis happens, and so the palisade cells are packed full of chloroplasts. Above this, we have the upper epidermis, which is another layer of epidermal tissue. These cells are almost transparent though, as the sunlight needs to be able to pass through them to get to the chloroplasts in the palisade cells beneath. And once photosynthesis has finally produced the sugar molecules, they're carried to the rest of the plant by these green tubes here, which we call the phloem. Now the main problem that leaves face is water loss. The xylem, which runs next to the phloem here, continually brings water up from the roots for the palisade cells to use in photosynthesis. But that water can be lost from both the top and bottom of the leaf. To reduce this water loss, the leaf has a waxy cuticle on top, which is basically a thin waterproof layer of lipids that the water can't get through.
Alright, so let me explain this diagram again for you guys. The first word that we saw was a chloroplast. We know that the chloroplasts are inside the green cells. They have the green pigment, and the photosynthesis is taking place there. The second thing is was about, let me grab this pen, was a cuticle layer. The cuticle layer is over here. This is your top layer. It's a waxy layer which stops the water from going out. So it actually helps to reduce the water evaporation from the leaf, right? Now, second thing he mentioned, that the photosynthesis is taking place in the Palisade Mesophyll. This first layer is known as the Palisades Mesophyll or Palisade cells, this region. Look at the cells over here. These cells belong to the Palisade. Then we have the Spongy Mesophyll. The Spongy Mesophylls are here. And then we have the lower epidermis. The lower epidermis has those gates which allows the water, the carbon dioxide, water vapor, and oxygen to go in and out. So oxygen, oxygen is going out, carbon dioxide is coming in, water vapors are coming out through the stomata. Then the second thing you mentioned about the green pipes over here, these green pipes are the phloem, which are taking the sugar to the roots. And the xylem is the one which brings the water from the roots to the leaf. This is for the water. Sorry. So we have two layers, one on the top, one on the bottom. We call upper epidermis, right? And we got the lower epidermis. Upper epidermis has the cuticle, and the lower epidermis contains the stomata. Anybody who has any questions so far? All right, then we go on.
When it comes to the bottom of the leaf, the main problem is the stomata, as the water will diffuse out of any gaps really easily. The leaves need...
All right, Zia had a question. Yes. OS has a question.
Mister, can you say again what is the spongy mesophyll?
The spongy mesophyll, they contain spaces so that the water and gas molecules can actually move around. The
Can you
second
say
layer,
it again, Mister?
the second layer, let me draw it again for you guys. Let me get the marker. This is your spongy mesophyll, the spongy layer. This middle section, it contains some gaps between them so that the oxygen, carbon dioxide molecules can move around and water can move around as well. Right?
Okay.
Okay. So let's listen to the video.
Need these holes though, so they can get the carbon dioxide that they need. As a compromise, the leaves keep their stomata open for as short a time as possible, so that they can maximize carbon dioxide absorption, but minimize water loss.
Okay, we have another question. Wait a second. Let me pause this. Where inside of the leaf is this? Okay, good question. Let me show you. Let me turn on my webcam. Can you guys see me now? Okay, look at my hand. This is a leaf. Imagine this is a leaf. So I'm cutting the leaf like this, and I'm looking at it in this way. We call this a cross section. So that was a leaf. We cut like this, and we are looking at that point. We slice it so delicately that it shows an image like that. Right? How much do you understand? Or should I show you another example, another picture from the Google? You can use the Google right now. Okay, let's write cross section of leaf. All right, cross section of leaf and origin. Let's write origin. So maybe just you should be able to understand a leaf, that the leaf is having two sides, upper side and lower side. So leaf upper, let me write leaf upper side and lower side. Okay, with you, yes, this would be a better example. Let me show you this. Can you guys see my screen now? You might see that there are two sides of a leaf. One is very shiny, bright, and the other one is dull and rough. It's not smooth. The upper surface is smooth and the lower surface is rough and dry. Okay, good. Our size here. Understood? Very good. So let's go to the video. Where did the video go? Okay, here's the video. So this is the upper side, which is the shiny side, and this is the lower side. So let's check what else he has to say.
In order to achieve this delicate balance, each stoma, which is what we call a single stomata, is formed from the gap between two guard cells. When the plant has lots of water, so it doesn't need to worry so much about conserving it, the guard cells will be well hydrated, which we call turgid, and this makes the gap between them larger, allowing more carbon dioxide to diffuse through. On the other hand, when the plant is short of water, the guard cells.
All right, Mansoor has a question. Yes, Mansoor, you have the mic.
Yeah, mister, can you go back to the leaves?
Okay, the structure of the leaf. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to the leaf. Yes, this one.
Which one is dry?
The one which is dull. Or you can see this picture. This one over here is shiny, and this is the dull. This is the upper surface. Left one is the upper surface. Let me grab the pen.
Yeah.
This is the cuticle one.
Okay.
And this is the dry one. Right? You have to see the leaf by yourself and try to observe it yourself. Go outside, take a leaf in your hand, and put your fingers on top of it. Just check which one is smooth and which one is dry, and you will see a big difference.
Okay.
All right, good. So,
All right.
good job. Let's go back to the video. Let me turn off the annotation. And let me clear the annotations as well. Clear my drawings. Good. So let's go to, I'll rewind a little bit so you can start from here.
Water loss. In order to achieve this delicate balance, each stoma, which is what we call a single stomata, is formed from the gap between two guard cells. When the plant has lots of water, so it doesn't need to worry so much about conserving it, the guard cells will be well hydrated, which we call turgid, and this makes the gap between them larger, allowing more carbon dioxide to diffuse through. On the other hand, when the plant is short of water, the guard cells will lose water due to osmosis, and they'll become flaccid. This in effect closes the stomata, meaning that the plant no longer takes in carbon dioxide, but more importantly, it will conserve its water vapor.
So, do you understand this point? When the plant has enough water, the stoma will open. But if there's less water, they will become flaccid and they will close the stoma so that it doesn't lose the water. So Hazi is raising a hand. Oh, sorry, Hazi. Where did Hazi go? Yes, I was going to give you the mic. I just accidentally lowered your hand. Yes.
Mr. About that, Mr. The lactose tree, Mr. Don't have a lot. Don't need a lot of water. The stomas are usually closed. Yes, Mr.
Which tree are we talking about?
Lactose.
Lattice?
Yes.
What is a lattice?
Lactose, Mr. The desert.
Cactus.
Yes.
Cactus, it doesn't have leaves. Have you seen?
Oh, Mr. It have leaf.
Let me show you. Cactus doesn't have leaves. Let's go to this. I'll write the desert plants, or should I write cactus? Look at those. This one, the famous one in the cartoons and movies, they don't have leaves. They have these needle-like structures. Their leaves are actually modified in a way. They have rolled up so that become like.
No, Mr.
Yes.
If you look, can you get back to the Mr.
Get back to who?
Mr. You can find it down in the Amazon one.
Amazon?
Yes, Mr. That one.
Which one that?
Mr. The indoor.
From the
yes,
left to right, you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yes, Mr. Come find Mr. In the park. There is 3 hands, Mr. Like the hand.
I'm asking you to count and tell me the number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Which one?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Mr. Number 8.
There's a guy over here. That one?
Down, number 1.
This one?
No, Mr. Yes.
On top or this one, right? They don't have the leaves. They have beetles. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mr. They have like a hand. That's
These are branches. They're not leaves. Leaves have to look like this. Like this. Like this. These are leaves.
Yes, Mr. I know that's leaf.
So what happens to the cactus is they roll up their leaves and they become like a pointed thorn. You know the thorns? The needle-like structures.
No.
The needle-like structures are the, what do you call it? The leaves. And Wes has a question. Yes, Wes?
Mr. You just said if the leaf doesn't have water, it closes, right?
If it doesn't have enough water.
Yes, then after it closes, how does it open again to get more water?
After it gets enough water, it will open up.
How does it get enough water if it's closed?
It will take the water from the roots.
Okay, what is a stoma? This is water from where?
The stoma is an opening, is a gap between the guard cells.
What comes through
The
this
water
gap?
vapors, carbon dioxide, and oxygen. They go in and out. Water vapors
Okay.
will come out, oxygen will come out, carbon dioxide goes in,
Oh,
right?
yes.
So if you don't give the water, it will wilt. The plant will wilt. You know wilting?
No.
Okay, let me show you what is wilting. Here's a picture of plant wilting. Look at this.
So like dying.
Yes. So once they don't have enough water, you don't give them the water, they'll close their stomas and still the water will keep on evaporating from them and they'll start dying, wilting.
They will give water, and they don't have water in
Yes,
the
if you
leaves.
give the water, they'll come back to life. Right?
Okay.
Okay. So let's go to the video.
Another adaptation is that the guard cells are sensitive to light, so they close at nighttime when photosynthesis isn't taking place, and they don't need carbon dioxide. And the reason that most of the stomata are on the underside of the leaves, rather than the top, is that the lower surface is more shaded, which makes it cooler, and so it means that less water will evaporate. One last tissue we need to mention is meristem tissue, which is basically the plant form of stem cells. They're found at the growing tips of the roots and shoots, and can differentiate into loads of different cell types, so that the plant can grow. We've actually already taken a look at meristems in our video on stem cells if you want to check it out. We'll also put down the link to our active transport video, which covers the structure and function of root hair cells. And that's everything for this video. If you enjoyed it, then please do give us a like, and we'll see you next time.
All right, so that was the video. Let's go to the near pod. What happens if you put leaf in water? Does it die by too much water? I don't know if you remember, we did 3 kinds of movement of water in the osmosis section: the isotonic solution, the hypotonic solution, and hypertonic solution. So yes, if you put the plant cell leaf in too much water, this will take out the nutrients from the leaf, and the plant will not be able to survive in that environment if there's too much water. Again, it will die. So excess of everything is bad. Excess of water or excess of food particles, anything which is out of the balance will be a difficulty for the plant. So we are left with 15 minutes. Do you guys want to go for the neopod, even for the humans, right? All for all the living organisms. So we can go for the Quizlet. We'll do the neopod tomorrow, that section. So let's check with the Quizlet. So who would like to tell me about the xylem? What does the xylem do? What's the definition for xylem? What is xylem's job? Where are they located? All right, OS.
Mister, it's in the leaf. It transports water
From where to where?
from the roots to the leaves.
Excellent. So let's check the answer. We don't read about the lignins. They transport water and minerals. So
What is lignin?
we will study maybe later on, but not now.
Okay.
So let's go to the next flashing card. Thank you, Wes. Let's see the next one. Guard cell. What is a guard cell? What does it do? Where are they located? Yes, Abdullah. Ghazi. Anybody else who would like to? Basim, Mr. Anderson. Nobody is willing to answer. Okay, Ghazi is raised his hand. Okay, Ghazi, you have the mic.
Mr. The guard cell is the two guard between the stoma.
Yes, what do they do?
Mr. They close the stoma when there is so much. If it's so much, they open the stoma when water is too much, and they close it when water is less.
Very good. So they control the opening and the closing of the stoma, and they open when we have enough water, and they close when the water is less. So good job. Full marks for Ghazi. All right, Abbas has a question. Yes, Abbas?
Mister, you said if a plant has too much water, it will die, right?
Yes, not too much, enough water.
Okay, now you say if the leaf have water, it will open.
Yes, enough water, not too much. When it has enough, sufficient water, it will open up the stoma.
Okay, if then it gets more than enough. Where does the extra go?
They will try to, evaporate it. They will try to get rid of it by keeping the stoma open. And if still the water is too much, then the plant will start dying. It won't be able to manage it.
Okay.
All right. So good question by Wes and Basim. Yes, you have the mic.
Mr. You said my name and you didn't unmute me.
I was looking for a hand, so you didn't raise your hand.
Oh, I thought you was gonna unmute me.
Okay, if you want to answer, you can answer the number 3 slide. Spongy
Okay.
Mesophyll.
Spongy Mesophyll. It's in the middle.
Yes. What kind of structure they have, or what do they do?
Random structure.
Good.
And has space between them.
Okay, let's see here. They're loosely packed, good, irregular shape. So the air space for gas exchange, we have air space so that the gases can move around, right? Like water vapors, oxygen, and carbon dioxide. So that's why they're loosely packed. So good answer by Basim. Well done. Let's go to the next question. Do you want to try the next question, Basim?
Can somebody give the other people chances?
Okay, so let's give
if they want. If they don't want, it's okay.
All right, so Ghazi is raising a hand. Yes, Ghazi, you have the mic.
Mister, I'm not sure about my answer, but I think, Mister, the front side of the leaf, where we can find the Palisade cell.
What's the front side? We have upper and lower. Choose upper and lower.
Mister, I think it is the upper side.
Okay, let's see. Yes, it is the upper side, which is doing the photosynthesis, and they have the chloroplast. So don't forget to mention their job as well. Okay. All right, good answer from Ghazi. Let's go to the next slide. Upper epidermis. It has one more point to it. Yes or yes?
Mr. It protects the leaf from up, like it doesn't let water
Yes.
go.
It has a layer. What do we call that layer?
I forget.
There are 2 names for it.
Ghazi wants to say it. I forget.
Yes, but you try to remember. I'll give you a hint. It starts with W and C. All right, don't worry. We'll give the chance to Mansoor. Yes, Mansoor.
Mister, I know.
Mister, did we did this last year?
Mister, I know what name.
Okay, hold on. Let me hear Mansoor's question.
Mister, did we did this last year?
I don't know.
The layers.
I didn't teach you guys last year, so I'm not sure.
Because I think I remembered we did it last year. I remember revising it for the quiz.
Yes, we did it.
It is possible that you might have learned in grade 6 and 7. It is possible.
Yeah.
So Wes remembered. Yes, Wes, what's the answer?
It's called waxy.
Waxy layer. And the second name?
Cuticle.
Very good, excellent. So they would be protecting. And where did that file go? Okay, single layers of cells, chloroplast. We have done that. So okay, full marks for the OS. Now we have the waxy and cuticle. So it's the same thing. So let's go to the next point. Stoma. Again, it's the same thing, but let's see. Let's give a chance to Mansoor. Mansoor is raising your hand. Mansoor, do you want to answer, or was it from a while ago? So let's try somebody else. Dia, would you like to answer this question? Dia, are you with us? If you are, please raise your hand. Okay, good. Dia, you have the mic.
Hello, mister, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Dia. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you, mister?
Alhamdulillah. So what do you know about stomata?
Um,
Anything you know?
Stomata, well, could you help me a little?
Yes, it's a plural of stoma, number one. Number two, it's the places where the oxygen and carbon dioxide and water vapors can move in and move out.
Oh, okay.
Let me show you the video. Can you see the small video?
Yeah.
Or should I maximize it? This area was the stomata. Look at this.
Okay.
Change the color to red. This is a gap, one, and this is the second gap, so that the water molecules can come out, right?
And go in.
And who's going in actually? It's the
Oxygen.
carbon dioxide. No, carbon
Carbon
dioxide.
dioxide.
Yes,
Haha.
carbon dioxide
Just kidding.
goes in, has to go in. And the oxygen also comes out. I have to have a better tool. So let me write over here carbon
Dioxide.
dioxide. And let's go to oxygen. And we'll write it over here. Let's break the note like this, like this. So the carbon dioxide is going in, oxygen comes
And
out.
the oxygen is coming out.
Yes. Now the stomata is actually created by two guard cells. This is a guard cell, this one and that one, right? Once you have enough water in the plant, they swell up and they create the gap so that gases can go in and out. If you don't have enough water, these guard cells will become flaccid and they will join together to close the gate. Let me show you the video.
Yeah.
Here's a part. Let me mute this. Okay. So when they become flaccid, look at this. Sorry. They I have to clear my throat. Now look at this. The guard cells, they have closed the gap between them after becoming flaccid, right?
Yep.
All right, so it was simple. So let's go back to the flashcard. So can you repeat, Leah, what was stomata?
Stomata, it's where the oxygen, the carbon dioxide goes in and the oxygen comes out. And um, when the leaf, I forgot the word, mister.
Has there enough water?
Yes, when it has enough water, the guard,
Cells.
the guard cells close.
They open. When they have enough water, they open. And when they
sorry.
much
They
water,
open.
they close. And also the stomata is light sensitive. When it feels that there is sunlight, it opens up. And at night, it closes as well.
Yep.
So let's see the answer. These are small pores
Small,
in leaves.
small pores in leaves that allow gas exchange.
All right, perfect. So let's go to the next. We will be doing the last one. Phloem cells. Boaz is raising a hand. Do you have a question, Boaz, or do you want to answer?
Mr.
Yes.
Mr. If is there a revised worksheet?
There is a worksheet, I believe. Yes.
Where do I find it?
Either enrichment. Here's a leaf picture. Maybe that is a worksheet. Plus, where there are, you know, I'll try to find a worksheet for you guys as well. Let me check with this. Yes, there's a worksheet. Can you see the new picture? What do you call it? Do you slide? No. Do you screen? Screen. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
That's the worksheet for you guys.
Mr. Last thing. What model are we in right now? 7.
Yes, week 7. You're week 7.
Okay. Thank you, Mr.
All right.
Period.
Roz is not going to answer. Let's go to the screen share of this one. Okay. So what does the phloem cells do? That was my question. So let's give it to Dia. Are you raising a hand or was it from the previous question? Ghazi. Okay, Dia wants to answer it. Oh, he lowered his hand. Ghazi, you have the mic. What do phloem cells do?
Mister, it's from the last time, but Mister, I don't remember. But I can I guess?
Yes, make a guess.
Mister, it's from the lower part of the cell.
If you remember the picture, that was the purple, green color tubes over here.
Yes, Mister. Yes, Mister. This is where exlism is.
It's next to xylem, and xylem is bringing in the water. But what do these purple thingies do? These tubes, what do they do?
Mister, they transport water.
They transport the glucose from the leaf to the roots.
Yes.
All right, good. So I'm stopping the recording now.